All right, guys, what's going on? Justin from 79 Productions, and today I'm going to be getting some work done on the hatch. But before I do that, guys, if you would like to support the channel, the link would be in the description for some merch. Pick up some merch, guys. It always helps out the channel because all the funds for merchandise goes directly into building these projects. So I'll put the link in the description for you. But today we're going to be working on the hatchback, and we're going to start on the engine bay. We're going to sand it down and prime it and hopefully get as far as we can. And I want to get this car done as quick as possible, so let's get to it. All right, guys, here we go. We have this engine bay. Now they try to do like a splatter paint job on it, so we have to take all of that down, and we're gonna get on that. We're gonna start with some 220 grit, and we'll move up from there. All right, guys, so here's what's going on. This paint they used was probably some cheap paint. If you guys can see this here, this is about maybe 30 seconds of sanding, and it's already sticking and clogging up the sandpaper. So this is gonna leave a lot of swirl marks in the paint. So we have to take all of that off. All right, guys, so I started sanding this area. I've been on this for about a solid hour. Now I'm at the point where, I still got to do all of this stuff, but I'm trying to finish the inside of the bay first, and I'm at the point where I need to move on to the firewall. So what I'm gonna do now, I already started loosening up the brake lines and everything like that, so I'm gonna pull all of that off. The brake booster, push the wires in, and start sanding the firewall. So I need to pull those lines off right now. All right, guys, so right now we're gonna pull this cable off. And there we go, and we're gonna move on to the next ones now. All right, guys, so here we are. We use a sanding machine. Now we're sanding the rest by hand. We got to get in all these little areas like this, but it is coming out pretty good so far, and not bad for a day's worth of work. All right, guys, so we're here now. We're just gonna put a little bit of body filler in the areas that need it. Not gonna go with too much because I pulled these dents out, so it's in a pretty decent shape. All right, guys, so we put the body filler on. Now, I put a little bit of extra body filler, but about 95% of that is gonna come off. So right now I'm just letting this dry, and then I'm gonna start sanding it down, and we're good to go. So I did most of the parts, guys. There was a H22 swap in here, so H22 is pretty big. They hit the shock towers coming in with it. And over here, I don't know what happened here, but I welded and plugged that hole. I did that off camera, and you know, just filled it in there. So we're gonna clean all this up. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna look pretty good. All right, guys, so we're just sanding this down with some 220 grit, and we're taking a lot of it off. If you can see this top part, it's already thinning out. And I'm just gonna keep working this, and I'll show you guys this when it's done. All right, guys, so we finished up with the body filler. Filled both sides in. Everything came out looking pretty good. I wrapped this thing up with 320 grit and a Scotch-Brite. Now we're getting ready to blow all the dust off so we can wipe this thing down and get ready to primer it. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to prime this thing, and we're gonna go through, wash this thing, wipe it down with some water, and then we're gonna come back and wipe it down with some wax and grease remover, and we're ready to primer. All right, guys, here we go. This thing is all taped up, the little areas that we wanted to be taped. And it is ready for primer. We got the filler done. Used some wax and grease remover. It's pretty clean now. And it's ready to go now. So we're gonna start mixing the primer and then lay some primer on this thing. All right, guys, so this is our first coat of primer. We're gonna go down. We laid this pretty thick, guys, because we're gonna be sanding this, but it is looking good so far. I'm gonna go through and put one more heavy coat on it. All right, guys, here we go. This thing is primed. 2 heavy coats of primer. It looks great. Now, guys, this is a high build primer. So I did this. I used the high build primer because any little imperfections, sanding, scratches, stuff like that, when you load this stuff up and put some wet coats on there, it tends to hide a lot of the scratches and stuff like that. So it looks pretty good. I can't complain. I mean, I'm super excited where we are right now. Summit Racing Primer. This is the 2K high build primer, and this hatch is coming along. I am going to take this to the paint shop, and guys, this car, it's coming along, and I'm super excited about this. We are gonna paint this thing, and I already picked out the color. I think it's gonna look great. So once this dries in a couple of days, I'll start sanding it and we'll take it to the paint shop and it's gonna be ready to paint. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you would like to support the channel, pick up some t-shirts, 79 Productions t-shirts, guys. All the merchandise sales go directly into building these cars, so that helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and Facebook at 79 Productions, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. God bless you guys.